रेगुलेटरी अथॉरिटी है वह कुछ जैसे बीसीसीआई है, ऐसे समझे उसको, वह एक नोटिफिकेशन निकाल देती है कि आज से 3 साल के लॉ सब बंद हो जाएंगे, उससे 5 साल का लॉ चलेगा। एक उदाहरण, बात तो सुनिए आप। उसके बाद मध्य प्रदेश शासन जो है 3 साल के लॉ कॉलेज को अनुमति देती है, तो क्या उस डिग्री के बेसिस पर which is dehorse the directions of the regulatory authority, can you claim any equitable right? ये लेजिटिमेट एक्सपेक्टेशन हो जाएगी, साहब मैं 30 साल से वकालत कर रहा हूँ लेकिन मेरे पास डिग्री नहीं है, अभी भी बार काउंसिल को डायरेक्शन दिया जाए कि मेरे को वकालत करने दी जाए। ANM certificate after passing 10th class and who had undergone 18 months training. Full stop.
Review petitions that wherein, my lord, I am seeking exception to the annexation A1, my lord. Herein, my lord, by this order, my lord, a long-awaited, my lord, dispute with respect to, my lord, the ANM candidates, my lord, their recruitment, my lord, vis-a-vis their qualification, my lord, provided by the Act, and thereafter, my lord, relevant observation is 53, my lord. Page number 115. Herein, my lord, dealing with the entire, my lord, dispute and controversy, my lord, the Honorable Division Bench has passed certain directions, my lord, wherein direction B, my lord, 53B,
जी पढ़िए,
that is relevant.
ऊपर से 53 से ही पढ़ लीजिए पूरा।
My lord, therefore, upholding the validity of the notification dated 2/2019, behold that said notification dated 2/2019 has to be read down to avoid a retroactivity, so as not to operate against those candidates who had obtained the qualification prior to the date of notification or prior to the rules being amended or guidelines being issued by INC. Therefore, while rejecting the challenge to the notification 2/2019 and holding the same to be constitutionally valid and intra vires, we issue following directions. 1. A. The candidates having obtained admission in ANM course training after passing class 10 qualification and admitted prior to session 2012-13 in AM course would be eligible to apply for the selection test. However, those candidates who have been admitted in any college from the session 2012-13 and thereafter would not be deemed eligible if they have obtained admission in ANM course with class 10 qualification.
Right.
That is not correct. We do not dispute that one.
Yes.
B is, my lord, those candidates who have acquired ANM training and were admitted prior to session 2012-13 and have completed ANM training of 18 months would be held eligible to apply in the selection test. However, those candidates who have been admitted in any college from the session 2012-13 and thereafter would not be deemed eligible if they have obtained 18 months ANM training in the case of 24 months. Well, the similar is with the qualification, my lord, and the subjects. Our respect submission, my lord, and what we are trying to point out is, my lord, the eligibility for the particular section to academic session 2012 and 13. My lord, by this judgment, basically the qualification of ANM candidates was, my lord, dealt with, where an earlier qualification was that the person could have taken admission who has
पहले requirement थी 10th pass, 18 months training.
18 months, correct.
ये कब से अमेंड
चेंज हो गया, ये
कब चेंज हुआ?
2012-13 onwards. However, notification was brought in the year 2017. In Malad, that class B, Malad,
नोटिफिकेशन कहाँ है? 3 जनवरी 12 का।
yes, इसमें Malad may kindly see annexation A2, Malad. A2. This is the Malad, the policy decision taken by the Indian Nursing Council, my lord, and the relevant part is 15A, page number 126. Eligibility criteria, my lord. And A says minimum eligibility criteria for ANM course shall be 12th pass instead of 10th pass. Training shall be of 2 years duration from 2012-13 academic year. So, my lords, by this judgment, my lord, the Honorable Division Bench has made this compulsory from the session 2012-13 onwards. So, now the gist is, my lord,
जो regulatory authority है nursing education की, वो Indian Nursing Council है. It had prescribed this qualification with effect from 3rd January 2012.
Correct, my lords, are correct. But the twist starts from, my lord,
मई थे, जून, जुलाई, जब भी 12-13 वाला।
Correct, my lords are very correct, my lord. What the best where it starts is, my lord, annexure A3, my lord. Even despite having this INC regulation, my lord, the state government does not mandate it to make the training for 24 months. May kindly see annexure A3, my lord.
पढ़िए।
A3 page number 116, my lord. And the third line I'm reading, my lord, with this विज्ञप्ति भोपाल दिनांक 18/1 का है ये, just after 15 days this विज्ञप्ति का amendment. एंड मतलब दी फर्स्ट प्रशिक्षण की शर्तों में पहला ही पॉइंट है, प्रशिक्षण शर्त की अवधि 18 माह की होगी. Now relying on this, different districts have issued the other advertisements. पेज नंबर 158 में मैंने ये होशंगाबाद का लगाया है.
एक चीज को समझ जाइए थोड़ा सा. रेगुलेटरी अथॉरिटी है वह, जैसे बीसीसीआई है ऐसे समझे उसको, वह एक नोटिफिकेशन निकाल देती है कि आज से 3 साल के लॉस अब बंद हो जाएंगे, उससे 5 साल का लॉ चलेगा. एक उदाहरण, बात तो सुनिए आप. उसके बाद मध्य प्रदेश शासन जो है 3 साल के लॉ कॉलेज को अनुमति देती है. तो क्या उस डिग्री के बेसिस पर, which is dehorse the directions of the regulatory authority, can you claim any equitable right? इस तरीके से समझेंगे तो
बिल्कुल. मैं उसी एग्जांपल पे मैं जाना चाह रहा हूँ. At one place INC has given the regulation. Now the state is the body, my lord. Being a student, my lord, our difficulty is the policy which was well in motion, my lord, from January 3, 2012, my lord. But the body who has to implement it is the state, my lord, health department.
और डैमेज का सूट लगाओ स्टेट के खिलाफ.
डैमेज तो नहीं है.
महाराज जी को पार्टी बना लेना.
Not only this, my lord. In fact, in para 33 of the order itself, judgment itself, my lord, that my lord's observation is that, my lord, INC's regulations are not mandatory and it is the state.
Our observation is not that it is not mandatory. Our observation is that they are mandatory.
No,
they are binding.
Kindly see para 28, my lord. This is a judgment, my lord, which was relied by the Honorable Division Bench, my lord, and holding it. So even in para 33 of the judgment, my lords were dealing with the judgment, my lord, and in this judgment, my lords have come up with the opinion that the policy decision taken by IMC is not binding to the state, and it is the state whose decision.
There are two aspects which I don't understand. One, INC is the regulatory authority to prescribe the standards of education in the field of nursing.
Very true.
That is binding.
Right.
The date on which a fresh notification was issued by INC, that is 3rd December 2012. 3/1/2012. New regulations are required to be brought into force, at least for the forthcoming academic session, that is 12-13. This is what Honorable Judgement said. As far as employment is concerned, conditions for employment cannot be amended retrospectively, and if there was no amendment in the recruitment rules, then the state can still employ those who had obtained 18 months training or ANM certificate after 10th class. These are two different aspects. Now, what Honorable Division Bench has held is that certificate of ANM obtained from the session 2012-13 by those persons who were not having 12th class examination certificate and who have not completed 24 months of training is not valid as far as educational qualification is concerned. The state may give you employment. We are not concerned with the employment.
Even Honorable Division Bench, my lord, while describing the legitimate expectation, one, and the other aspect of those candidates who for more than 10 years are working on contractual basis, now at the year of 2025 cannot be deprived of any opportunity of employment. This was the part of the judgment itself. But my point is, if it is permitted till 13-14, why not 12-13 also? Why? Because state has not implemented it. This is the only my grievance.
Disqualified person की legitimate expectation रहती है. अगर एक व्यक्ति
Well.
ऐसा हुआ है मध्य प्रदेश में. We are aware of these cases.
Well.
Continues to work as a lawyer despite the fact that he was not having a valid degree of LLB or its equivalent degree from a recognized institution. है? ये legitimate expectation हो जाएगी, साहब मैं 30 साल से वकालत कर रहा हूँ लेकिन मेरे पास डिग्री नहीं है, अभी भी बार काउंसिल को डायरेक्शन दिया जाए कि मेरे को वकालत करने दी जाए. ये legitimate expectation का पार्ट है.
ये तो जो observation my lord I'm trying to put on is the part of this judgment itself. So legitimate, and even my lord have given a my lord very a third ground, my lord, saying that those who are not coming to the benefit of this, even state should make certain bridge course.
We are not saying that. We are saying that.
My lord, honorable court has observed this. My prayer is, my lord, when state government has not, so
चलिए सुनिए, ऑर्डर सुनिए. This review petition is filed 10 और 11 में कॉमन ऑर्डर कर दीजिएगा. Being aggrieved of the order dated, common order dated, order dated इतना पास डेट WB नंबर इतना लिख लीजिए. Where petitioner is challenging the observations made by honorable division bench in
para 33
para 53 within bracket B, whereby honorable division bench by improved judgment held that within inverted commas 53 bracket में B bracket close small b, those candidates who have acquired ANM training and were admitted prior to session 2012-13 and have completed ANM training of 18 months would be held eligible to apply in the selection test. However, those candidates, इसको quote करना, selection test, comma, however, comma, those candidates who have been admitted in any college from the session 2012-13 and would not be deemed eligible if they have obtained 18 months ANM training in place of 24 months, full stop, inverted commas, close. Next pair. Shri Golani submits that on 3rd January 2012, comma, by annexure R2, Indian Nursing Council, Combined Councils Building, Kotla Road, Temple Lane, New Delhi, issued notification in file number .1-5 within bracket GB, capital A, G, capital A, B, bracket close, CIR oblique 2011 to the effect that admission criteria has been enhanced for ANM, that is from 10th to 12th standard from 2012-13 academic year, and for general nursing and midwifery within bracket GNM, bracket close. The admission criteria will be 10+2 with science with minimum 40% marks, full stop. Next para. It is further mentioned that दो साल वाला कहाँ लिखा है इसमें? It is further mentioned in
15A,
clause 15A that minimum eligibility criteria for ANM course shall be 12th pass instead of 10th pass. Training shall be of 2 years duration from 2012-13 academic year. Next paragraph. It is submitted that state government had issued an advertisement on 18/1/2012 and in that they had mentioned qualification of 10th pass under 10+2 scheme, full stop. Thus, it is submitted that since state government had not adopted the Nursing Council Circular dated
training duration.
January 2012.
Sorry for interference. Training duration. The state government has training. State government has not mandated 24 months training.
सुनिए, पूरा तो सुनिए.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
3 January 2012 and had not mandated 24 months training. Therefore, that cannot be applied retrospectively. Next paragraph. It is submitted that if benefit has been given to the persons who had acquired qualification up to the academic session by obtaining admission in ANM course up to the academic session 2011-12, then why it is not being extended to the persons who obtained admission in the academic session 2012-13? Question mark. Next one. Shri Manaswani Verma, Learned Counsel for the State, in his turn submits that Indian Nursing Council is the apex body entitled to prescribe standards of nursing education. Full stop. Once an amendment was proposed in the relevant regulation and qualification of 12th pass in place of 10th and duration of training of 24 months in place of 18 months was prescribed well in advance of beginning of academic session 2012-13, then it being a mandatory condition, there is no error in the impugned judgment calling for interference. Next paragraph. At this stage, Shri Hitendra Golani raises a new plea of legitimate expectation and submits that appellants, review petitioners having obtained said degree and worked for certain years on contractual basis have legitimate expectation of being considered for employment on the basis of their 18 months training certificate oblique 10th pass qualification. Next paragraph. After hearing learned counsel for the parties and going through the record, factual backdrop is that state had debarred all the ANMs who had obtained ANM certificate after passing 10th class and who had undergone 18 months training. Full stop. Next one. Honorable Coordinate Bench, taking this fact into consideration that qualifications as were amended were prescribed white notification dated 3rd white circular dated 3rd January 2012 and will therefore not have any retrospective application. White para 53 within bracket A of the impugned judgment allowed those persons who had taken admission in the academic session 2011 up till academic session 2011-12 to hold that they possess valid certificate. However, it has been rightly held that once Indian Nursing Council had prescribed certain qualifications to be applied with effect from academic session 2012-13, and if they were not followed by the state government or any other authority, then such lapse will not supersede the mandatory and statutory prescription made by Indian Nursing Council. And next para, when impugned judgment is viewed in the aforesaid backdrop, then we do not find any illegality or shortcoming so to persuade us to review orders of the coordinate bench. The review petition fails and is dismissed. Next para, एक line और लिख देते हैं. As far as legitimate expectation is concerned, it cannot be raised. This plea cannot be raised by persons who are not having legitimate qualification.
Well, one observation. If needless to say, if a state government comes up any policy,
review का status नहीं. अब उसके beyond कुछ नहीं. चलिए, धन्यवाद.
I'm deeply obliged.